Have you ever felt the sting of giving your heart to someone who barely notices you exist? That quiet ache of waiting for a message that never comes, staring at a phone that stays silent, replaying conversations in your head while wondering what you did wrong. It's a pain few admit out loud, yet almost everyone has felt. The crushing weight of being ignored by someone whose attention feels essential to your happiness. And the more they pull away, the more you find yourself reaching, hoping, chasing, only to feel emptier than before. But what if this constant pursuit is the very thing robbing you of your peace, your confidence, and your sense of self? The truth is, every time you chase someone who ignores you, you send a silent message to yourself. I am not enough unless they see me. This belief becomes a prison, slowly convincing you that your value is measured by another person's willingness to respond. Yet deep down, you know this isn't true. You know that who you are, the strength you carry, the kindness you give, the dreams you hold, cannot be defined by the actions of someone else. But still, the chase continues, because your heart craves what your mind knows might never come. This emotional hunger isn't weakness, it's human nature. The brain is wired to seek validation, to chase after the thrill of approval, to believe that if we just try harder, love harder, wait longer, they'll finally see us. But the reality is far more painful. When someone repeatedly ignores you, it is not a test of your worth. It is a reflection of their priorities. And no amount of running after them can change that truth. The more you chase, the further away you drift from the one person who matters most, yourself. Imagine for a moment what it would feel like to stop, to no longer wake up wondering if today will be the day they notice you, to no longer hand over your emotional energy like a gift to someone who won't even unwrap it. Imagine standing tall, breathing deeply, and saying, "My value does not depend on their attention. My life is bigger than their silence." That moment is freedom. That moment is power. That moment is the beginning of taking your life back. Stay with this message, because what comes next will show you not only how to stop chasing, but how to reclaim every piece of yourself you've given away. It will teach you how to build an unshakable sense of worth, how to draw strength from within, and how to attract people who see you, not because you beg for their attention, but because you've learned to stand in your own light. This is not about losing them. It's about finding you. Self-respect is not something given to you by others. It is something you decide to hold, no matter how people treat you. When someone ignores you, the instinct is to try harder, to prove your worth, to show them why you matter. But the moment you place your value in their hands, you hand over your power. You tell yourself that their recognition is the proof you need to feel whole. Yet deep within, a voice whispers that you are worthy, not because of what someone else sees, but because of what you already are. That voice has been drowned out by longing and fear, but it is still there, waiting for you to listen. Every time you choose yourself over the need for validation, you strengthen that voice. You begin to stand taller, think clearer, and feel lighter. You stop bending your soul into shapes it was never meant to take, simply to fit into someone's fleeting attention. Respecting yourself means saying, "I will not chase what does not value me." It means refusing to spend your emotional energy begging for crumbs when you deserve the feast of genuine connection and mutual care. And when you live this way, something incredible happens. People sense it. They feel the quiet confidence, the calm strength, the magnetic pull of someone who knows their worth. This is not arrogance. It is not pride. It is alignment with your truth. You are not designed to live on the edge of someone's approval, waiting to be chosen. You are designed to live from the core of who you are, rooted so deeply in self-belief that no rejection can shake you. This doesn't mean you will never feel the sting of being ignored again. It means you will no longer allow it to define you, break you, or push you into chasing what should naturally flow toward you. Imagine the shift that happens when you no longer ask, "Why won't they see me?" and start asking, "Why am I spending my life proving myself to someone who won't?" That question alone can awaken a deeper strength, a strength that has been buried under fear and hope for far too long. It challenges you to reclaim your dignity, to choose peace over pain, and to stop confusing attention with love. The more you invest in respecting yourself, the less you will tolerate situations that make you feel small, the less you will crave what hurts you, and the more you will radiate a quiet confidence that draws the right people toward you, people who value you, see you, and meet you where you are. That is the power of self-respect. It changes everything. The mind has a way of convincing you that the person ignoring you holds more importance than they truly do. When someone withdraws their attention, the human brain often interprets it as scarcity, making what is absent feel more valuable than what is present. You start to believe that their approval is rare, that winning it will somehow validate everything you feel about yourself. But this is an illusion, an emotional trick born from longing and fear. Their silence does not increase their worth, it only highlights how much of your own worth you are overlooking. Scarcity creates obsession. The harder it becomes to get their attention, the more your mind frames it as a prize to be earned. You replay moments, analyze their words, and search for meaning in their indifference. Yet the truth remains, genuine connection does not require constant pursuit. It flows naturally, without forcing, without begging, without exhausting your spirit in a cycle of endless proving. The more you chase, the more you feed the illusion that they are the source of your happiness, when in reality that source has always been within you. This illusion can be powerful enough to blind you to reality. You may start believing their distance is a challenge, a signal to try harder, to go further, to do more to win them over. But this mindset only deepens the trap, keeping you locked in a pursuit that empties your energy while giving nothing back. Love, respect, and connection are not earned through exhaustion, they are built on reciprocity. Where there is none, there is only a void disguised as potential. Recognizing this truth is not weakness, it is clarity, it is the courage to see through the fog of emotional attachment and face what is real. A relationship that requires constant chasing is not a relationship at all. It is a performance, one where you play the role of the seeker and they play the role of the prize, yet neither truly wins. You lose yourself, and they lose the chance to experience someone who could bring value without conditions. Releasing the illusion does not mean bitterness. It means freedom. It means reclaiming your power from the grip of false importance and placing it back where it belongs, with you. It means refusing to elevate someone simply because they withhold what you crave. True strength is not found in pursuit. It is found in recognition of your own light and the courage to stop dimming it for someone who chooses not to see. The illusion fades the moment you choose reality over fantasy. And reality says this: no one who truly values you will make you chase their attention. Every moment you spend chasing someone who ignores you is a moment of emotional energy slipping away, draining your confidence and clouding your clarity. Energy is not infinite. It is the fuel that drives your thoughts, your choices, and your future. When it is poured into someone who offers nothing in return, you are left depleted, restless, and questioning your own value. But when that energy is reclaimed and redirected, everything changes. Your focus sharpens, your confidence rises, and you feel yourself coming back to life, no longer chained to the weight of someone else's silence. Reclaiming emotional energy begins with awareness. It begins with noticing the moments you are lost in thought about them, replaying words, imagining responses, or building excuses for why they continue to ignore you. These moments may seem small, but each one takes a piece of you, a fraction of your strength, until the best of you is scattered across memories and maybes. Pulling that energy back is an act of self-rescue. It is a conscious decision to say, I deserve to feel whole. I deserve to feel free. Clarity grows when you stop investing in what depletes you. Instead of asking why they are silent, start asking why you have been willing to give so much of yourself to silence. This question cuts through illusion and forces truth to rise. And the truth is, your attention is precious. Your time is sacred. Your heart is not a toy to be left waiting in someone else's hands. The moment you understand this, you begin to feel lighter. The ache softens. The pull weakens. You start to sense a deeper strength rising inside you. Redirecting this energy into your own life creates momentum. You no longer sit in waiting. You rise into action. You pour energy into growth, into dreams, into becoming the kind of person who does not chase but attracts. Every choice to care for your mind, your body, your purpose becomes a declaration, I choose me. And as you continue to choose yourself, your world begins to shift. What once felt like loss starts to feel like liberation. There is power in no longer giving away your peace to someone who will not hold it gently. There is strength in knowing that your energy can build a future that fulfills you instead of feeding a cycle that drains you. And there is freedom in realizing that the love, validation, and connection you seek begins not with someone else's attention, but with your own. When you stop leaking energy into places where it is not valued, you reclaim the life you were meant to live, strong, centered, and untouchable by the silence of those who could not see your worth. Detachment is not about becoming cold or shutting down your emotions. It is about finding the strength to let go of what is no longer serving you. It is the calm decision to release your grip on people who choose not to hold on to you. Detachment does not mean you stop caring. It means you care enough about yourself to stop begging for what was never freely given. It is a powerful mental shift that takes you from desperation to dignity, from clinging to clarity. The human mind clings to what it fears losing. It believes that holding tighter will bring security, yet the opposite is true. The more you hold, the more you feel the weight of what does not want to stay. Detachment lightens that weight. It teaches you that your peace does not depend on someone else's presence, words, or attention. It reminds you that your worth existed long before they arrived and will remain long after they are gone. The psychology of detachment lies in creating emotional space. Space to breathe, space to heal, space to see reality for what it is, not what you wish it to be. When you detach, you are no longer trapped in the endless cycle of analyzing every action, reading into every pause, and trying to interpret every silence. Instead, you stand still in your own strength, no longer needing answers from someone who has already given them through their lack of effort. This kind of clarity feels like freedom. It silences the constant noise of why and replaces it with the calm of enough. You begin to see that peace is not found in chasing someone to fill your void, but in learning to fill it with your own presence. Detachment is not the absence of love. It is the presence of self-respect. It is the understanding that love cannot be forced and dignity cannot be compromised. Letting go does not mean you failed. It means you chose yourself. It means you decided to step out of the role of pursuer and into the role of creator, creating a life where your energy is no longer drained by someone's disregard. And as you do this, you awaken to a powerful truth. What is meant for you will never require endless chasing. It will meet you with effort, with care, and with reciprocity. The moment you embrace detachment, you reclaim more than your energy. You reclaim your peace, your focus, and your freedom. You stop waiting for someone to complete you and start becoming whole within yourself. And in that wholeness, you no longer fear losing anyone because you finally know. You cannot lose what was never truly yours. When you begin valuing those who value you, life starts to feel lighter and more meaningful. You stop wasting energy on people who barely notice your presence and start investing it in those who see your worth without being asked. There is a profound shift in your emotional world when you choose connection over chasing, respect over rejection, and genuine care over hollow attention. Suddenly, relationships no longer feel like battles to be won. They become spaces where your soul feels safe, understood, and appreciated. The reason mutual appreciation feels so powerful is because it aligns with your deepest human need, to be seen and valued as you are. When you surround yourself with people who honor your energy, you experience a sense of balance that cannot be found in pursuit. You no longer have to guess where you stand, interpret silence, or beg for recognition. Instead, you find yourself in the company of those who meet you with consistency, effort, and authenticity. These are the connections that bring peace rather than confusion, strength rather than self-doubt. Yet, to receive this level of respect from others, you must first believe you deserve it. You must believe that your time, your energy, and your heart are too valuable to be wasted on someone who cannot even offer a fraction of themselves in return. This belief becomes your filter, your guide, your inner compass directing you toward healthier connections and away from one-sided emotional investments. When you hold yourself to that standard, the people who match it are naturally drawn to you. And here lies the deeper truth. Valuing those who value you is not just about relationships, it is about life. It is about choosing where your energy flows. It is about no longer watering dead soil, and instead nurturing what grows, what inspires, what elevates you. The people who value you become mirrors, reflecting back the strength, kindness, and light you bring into the world. They do not take from you to feel whole, they add to you, and you add to them. That is the kind of connection worth keeping. This choice also frees you from the fear of losing people who were never truly there. It allows you to walk with confidence, knowing that you no longer settle for scraps of attention when you deserve the fullness of respect. Life becomes richer when you stop giving everything to those who give nothing and start building with those who match your effort. In that space, relationships become empowering, uplifting, and deeply fulfilling. You no longer chase, you connect. You no longer plead for love, you attract it by living as someone who knows exactly what they are worth. The energy once spent chasing someone who ignores you can become the very force that transforms your life. When you begin investing in yourself, a profound shift occurs. Instead of pouring time into unanswered messages, you pour it into growth. Instead of rehearsing what you might say to win them over, you practice the language of self-belief. Every moment that once went toward proving your worth to someone else now builds the foundation of a stronger, more confident version of you. This is the art of self-investment, turning emotional pain into fuel for personal power. Growth is magnetic. When you dedicate yourself to becoming more mentally, emotionally, and physically, you radiate an energy that draws people toward you, not because you chase, but because you carry yourself with quiet confidence. Self-investment is not selfish. It is necessary. It is the commitment to nurturing your mind, developing your skills, and strengthening your resilience so that no rejection can shake the core of who you are. It is not about becoming someone else to be loved. It is about becoming the truest, highest version of yourself because you finally see your own value. This process begins with small, deliberate choices, choosing to spend time learning, growing, and building rather than waiting for validation. Choosing to focus on your passions rather than the absence of someone's attention. Choosing to create a life so full of purpose that no silence can echo loud enough to distract you from it. These choices stack on one another until they form a powerful identity, one that no longer fears being ignored because it no longer depends on external approval. When you invest in yourself, you begin to notice a change in the way you carry your pain. What once felt like rejection now feels like redirection. What once drained you now fuels you. Every ounce of energy that used to go toward longing for someone's attention now goes toward building a life that excites you, fulfills you, and elevates you. And the more you grow, the less you crave the attention of those who overlook your worth because your value no longer feels negotiable. Self-investment transforms your inner world and the outer one responds in kind. Opportunities appear. Better relationships emerge. A sense of peace replaces the old need to chase. You no longer look back at what you lost, because what you are building is far greater than anything you once pursued. This is the quiet power of choosing yourself, knowing that every step forward makes you stronger, wiser, and more complete. And in that strength, you no longer seek love to feel worthy. You become worthy in your own eyes, and that changes everything. Fear of losing someone often keeps you locked in patterns that diminish your worth. It whispers that if you stop chasing, you will miss your only chance at love, connection, or happiness. This fear is powerful because it is tied to one of the deepest human needs, the need to belong. Yet when that belonging comes at the cost of your dignity, it is no longer love, it is dependency. And dependency does not heal you. It keeps you bound to a cycle of emotional scarcity that leaves you empty and afraid. Fear magnifies the importance of what you might lose while blinding you to what you are already losing. Your peace, your self-respect, your emotional strength. Every time you hesitate to walk away because of fear, you reinforce the belief that you are not whole without them. But wholeness is not found in someone else's presence. It is built within you. The courage to face life without the person who ignores you is the same courage that will set you free from the chains of self-doubt. Overcoming this fear is not about suppressing your emotions. It is about reprogramming your perspective. Instead of asking, "What if I lose them?" ask, "What will I lose if I keep chasing someone who does not see me?" The answer is clear. You lose time, energy, and the opportunity to experience relationships where love flows freely. You lose the chance to become the strongest version of yourself because all your strength is tied to someone who offers nothing in return. Courage is born the moment you trust that your life is bigger than this one connection. It is born when you accept that not everyone is meant to stay, and not everyone is capable of giving you the love you deserve. This acceptance does not diminish your worth, it affirms it. It tells you that you are no longer willing to settle for fragments of attention when you were designed to experience fullness. When fear fades, freedom arrives. You stop clinging to someone who treats your presence as optional. You stop bargaining with your dignity for glimpses of recognition. You start standing in your own strength, knowing that walking away is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of a better one. The relationships ahead will not demand that you shrink yourself to be seen. They will celebrate you for standing tall. The fear of losing them loses its grip when you realize you have already found what matters most, yourself. And once you choose yourself, no silence can break you, no rejection can define you, and no loss can take away the power you have reclaimed. Identity is the anchor that keeps you steady when the world tries to shake you. When you know who you are, you no longer seek constant validation because your sense of self is rooted in something deeper than attention. You stop defining yourself by who stays, who leaves, or who chooses to ignore you. Instead, you define yourself by the values you hold, the strength you carry, and the purpose that drives you forward. This is what it means to build an unshakable identity, one that cannot be swayed by silence or rejection. An unshakable identity begins with clarity about what you stand for, what you believe in, and what you will no longer tolerate. When these foundations are strong, the opinions or actions of others lose their power over you. You stop asking, "Am I enough for them?" and start affirming, "I am enough because of who I am." This mental shift creates an inner calm, a quiet confidence that does not rely on external approval to feel whole. Every time you allow someone's lack of attention to determine your worth, you hand over pieces of your identity. Slowly, you become someone defined by longing rather than strength, by fear rather than self-belief. But when you choose to reclaim those pieces, something powerful happens. You begin to stand tall in your truth. You stop bending to fit someone's limited vision of you and start expanding to match your own potential. This sense of identity is not built overnight. It is forged in moments of discomfort, when walking away feels harder than staying. It is shaped in decisions where you choose peace over chaos, dignity over desperation, and growth over stagnation. Each choice reinforces who you are, a person of value, a person of courage, a person who refuses to be defined by how little someone else sees. The beauty of building this foundation is that it changes how you experience life. Rejection no longer feels like proof of inadequacy. It becomes redirection toward what aligns with your worth. Ignored messages no longer feel like a wound, they become reminders of where your energy should no longer flow. And the silence of others no longer echoes louder than your own voice reminding you of who you are. With an unshakable identity, you carry yourself differently. You no longer chase approval because you live in alignment with your own. You no longer fear being alone because you are whole within yourself. And you no longer beg to be seen because your worth is already undeniable. This is the strength that frees you, not from caring, but from compromising who you are to feel worthy of care. Walking away from someone who ignores you is not an act of defeat, it is an act of courage. It is the decision to no longer let your worth be measured by someone's indifference. It is the bold choice to choose yourself over the pain of proving your value where it is not recognized. This moment of walking away is not about bitterness. It is about reclaiming your dignity, your strength, and your emotional freedom. The mind resists this step because it fears the emptiness that follows. But the truth is, the emptiness you fear is not a void. It is space. Space for healing, growth, and the return of your own power. When you stop chasing, you free your heart from the weight of expectation. You stop living in the hope of being chosen and start living in the certainty that you are already enough. This is not just a shift in thought, it is a transformation of identity. Walking away teaches you that closure is not something they give you, it is something you create for yourself. It is a silent declaration that your value does not decrease because someone failed to see it. It is the realization that peace is more valuable than attention, and self-respect is more powerful than approval. Each step away from what diminishes you is a step toward what will strengthen you. This choice also sends a powerful message to your own subconscious. I am no longer available for what makes me feel small. That message changes everything. It reshapes your confidence, rewires your expectations, and raises your standards. You stop clinging to the hope that someone will change, and you start creating a life where you no longer need them to. You stop giving your best to those who offer you their least. As you walk away, you may feel the pull of old habits, the urge to check, to wait, to wonder. But each time you resist, you grow stronger. Each time you choose yourself, your sense of self-worth deepens. And soon, the silence that once haunted you becomes the peace that guides you. You no longer measure your days by who noticed you, because you are too busy noticing the strength you have found within. The journey of walking away is not about proving anything to them. It is about proving something to yourself, that your heart, your mind, and your life are too valuable to waste on someone who cannot see your light. And when you finally step forward without looking back, you feel it. A deep sense of liberation, a quiet power rising inside you, reminding you of the truth you had forgotten. You were never meant to chase. You were meant to rise. Strength is not found in how tightly you hold on, but in how gracefully you let go of what was never meant to stay. Letting go is not weakness. It is the highest form of self-respect, a bold acknowledgement that your worth cannot be bound to the indecision or disregard of another. The mind fears letting go because it equates it with losing. But what you are truly losing is the weight that has kept you from rising. You are releasing the emotional chains that have silently drained your energy, your focus, and your joy. The power of letting go lies in the decision to no longer negotiate your value. You stop waiting for someone to recognize what they should have seen from the beginning. You stop replaying conversations, searching for hidden meaning, or hoping for signs of change. Instead, you reclaim your energy and redirect it toward building a life where your sense of fulfillment does not depend on someone else's acknowledgement. You begin to stand in the quiet certainty of your own worth, no longer defined by who stays, who goes, or who never saw you clearly. This process reshapes how you see yourself. It teaches you to no longer measure your importance by the attention you receive, but by the boundaries you keep. It transforms longing into liberation, turning silence into a sanctuary where healing begins. Every moment spent in self-reflection, every choice to prioritize peace over chaos, rewires your mind to seek what strengthens rather than what drains. You begin to feel lighter, more focused, and more aligned with the life you truly deserve. Letting go is not only about freeing yourself from someone else's grasp, it is about stepping into a higher version of yourself, one who no longer fears solitude because solitude becomes the space where strength is born. It is where you learn that the absence of another's presence can be the greatest gift, for it allows the presence of your own soul to rise to the surface. You begin to see that what you once thought was a loss was, in truth, the beginning of self-discovery. Each step away from what no longer serves you sharpens your clarity and deepens your confidence. You stop questioning your worth and start building a life that reflects it. And as this strength grows, you realize you were never really walking away from them. You were walking back to yourself, the self that remembers, the self that knows, the self that refuses to settle for less than the love, respect, and value it was always worthy of. And in that moment, the past no longer holds you. You stand lighter, stronger, unshaken, ready to rise into everything you were meant to be.